Aloha and welcome. We're a Native Hawaiian-owned studio based in Kailua-Kona, and today we're exploring the myths that shaped these islands. Hawaiian mythology is one of the world's richest oral traditions, a living map of gods, goddesses, and demigods who explain the fire in the mountains, the tides of the ocean, and the values people still live by. In the next few chapters, we'll meet the great creator gods, the volcano goddess, the trickster who fished up the islands, and the guardian spirit said to walk the land at night. Let's begin. Before we meet the gods, it helps to understand how Hawaiians saw the world. Traditional belief filled the land, sky, and sea with divine beings called Akua, gods and goddesses tied to nature itself. Alongside them were the Kupua, demigods and shapeshifters, part human and part supernatural, who could take the form of a person, an animal, or a force of nature. Flowing through everything was mana, a sacred spiritual power that lived in people, places, and objects. These stories were never written down in old Hawaii. They were chanted, danced, and passed from elder to child across centuries, keeping history and wisdom alive in memory. At the heart of the pantheon stands the creator god, the source of life, light, and fresh water. He is often called the chief among the great gods, the giver of living things, associated with sunlight, the forest, and the streams that make the land fertile. Unlike some other gods, he was never honored with human sacrifice. Instead, people offered him water, fruit, flowers, and prayer. When Hawaiians dug a spring or watched sunlight break through the trees, they saw his gift. He represents creation and the pure, life-giving forces that allow people, plants, and animals to thrive. Where there is creation, there is also strength. The god of war stood for power, leadership, and skill in battle, but also in the daily work of fishing and farming. Chiefs called on him before conflict, seeking his favor for victory and for the security of their people. He was the most feared of the great gods, the one honored at the war temples in times of crisis. Yet Hawaiians understood him as more than violence. He was also the patron of the fisherman casting his net and the builder raising a canoe, the force of disciplined effort that feeds and protects a community. As the seasons turned, attention shifted to the god of agriculture, rain, and peace. He governed the clouds, the harvest, and the fertility of the land. Each year, Hawaiians honored him with a season of peace and celebration lasting several months, when war was set aside and the people gave thanks for the harvest with feasting, games, and sport. This was a time to restore balance, to rest the land and the people alike. Where the war god embodied conflict, this god embodied abundance, gratitude, and renewal, reminding everyone that prosperity depends on peace as much as on strength. For a people who crossed thousands of miles of open water, no god mattered more than the god of the ocean. He ruled the deep sea, long-distance navigation, and the mysteries of the spirit world beyond the horizon. He is often paired with the creator god, the two representing the great partnership of sea and land, salt water and fresh. Sailors honored him as they read the stars, the swells, and the winds to find tiny islands in an endless ocean. He is also linked with healing and with the journey the soul takes after death, guiding travelers across both real and unseen waters. No figure in Hawaiian mythology is more famous or more feared and loved than the volcano goddess. She is the creator and destroyer of land, the fire that builds new islands from the sea. Her home is said to be the great crater of Kīlauea, one of the most active volcanoes on Earth. When lava flows, Hawaiians describe it as her walking the land. She is passionate and powerful, quick to anger, but also the source of new ground and new life. To this day, she is spoken of with deep respect, often called a grandmother or elder, and her presence is felt wherever the earth still burns. The volcano goddess is at the center of Hawaii's most dramatic rivalries. In one story, she flees across the ocean, pursued by her elder sister, the goddess of the sea, whose waters forever battle the goddess's fire, the eternal struggle of lava meeting the waves that quench it. In another, she clashes with the snow goddess who reigns atop the tallest mountain. When the fire goddess hurled her flames, the snow goddess threw down her white mantle and drove the lava back. These legends are more than drama. They explain the islands themselves, where volcanoes rise, where snow crowns the peaks, and where fire and water shaped the land. Not every hero was a god. The most beloved demigod of the Pacific was a clever trickster whose deeds benefited all of humankind. With a great magical fishhook, he is said to have pulled the islands up from the bottom of the sea, tricking his brothers into paddling with all their strength, while he hauled up new land. He lassoed the sun as it raced across the sky, forcing it to slow down so the days would be long enough to dry cloth and ripen crops. And he is credited with bringing fire to the people. Mischievous, bold, and endlessly resourceful, his stories are told from Hawaii all the way to New Zealand. Hula, the sacred dance of Hawaii, has its own divine patrons. The younger sister of the Volcano goddess is honored as a goddess of the dance, said to be the very first to dance hula, living among a grove of sacred red-blossomed trees where she danced with the forest spirits. Her great journey to bring back her sister's beloved is one of the epic sagas of Hawaiian tradition, still performed in chant and dance today. Beside her stands the goddess of the forest and the hula, to whom dancers offer their prayers. Together they remind us that hula is not just performance, it is worship, history, and a link to the divine. One of the most colorful figures is a shape-shifting demigod tied to farming and fertility, a being who could change from a handsome man into a great hog and back again. He is best known for his stormy romance with the Volcano goddess, a turbulent pairing of fire and rain. Their conflict carries a deeper meaning. Where her lava hardened into barren rock, his rains and fertile power turned that rock back into rich soil where plants could grow. In this way, the myth explains a real cycle Hawaiians witnessed, how fresh lava, over time, softens into some of the most fertile earth on the islands. Beyond the great gods, the islands were watched over by guardian spirits. Among them were the water dragons, powerful lizard beings, usually female, said to guard freshwater pools, springs, and fish ponds, able to appear as beautiful women or fearsome reptiles. Families also honored guardian sharks who protected certain bays and their people, watching over fishermen and swimmers. And there were the legendary little people, small skilled builders said to raise stone temples and fish ponds overnight, vanishing before dawn. These guardians expressed a core Hawaiian idea, that the natural world is alive, watchful, and deserving of care and respect. Some of the most spine-tingling legends concern the night marchers, the spirits of ancient warriors said to travel the islands after dark. On certain nights, Hawaiians say you can hear distant drums and chanting and see a line of torches moving along old trails. Tradition holds that the living should never look directly at the procession, but instead show respect and stay out of its path. Whether taken as ghost story or spiritual truth, these tales carry a message of deep reverence for ancestors, a reminder that the past is never truly gone, and that those who came before still walk the land they loved. From the creator of life to the fire in the mountains, these myths still shape how Hawaiians see the land, the sea, and one another. They live on in chant, in hula, and in the art of the islands. At our studio, Kahana.shop, we celebrate that heritage with Hawaiian-inspired art, digital oil painting posters, and culture-rich designs made with aloha and respect. If these stories moved you, take a moment to learn more and carry a little of that spirit with you. Mahalo for watching. Until next time, aloha.